G'day everybody, welcome back to part 2 of creating the red boat floor. Behind me you can see I've already started building the floor, and I'll explain how I did that in just a second. So firstly, after I got the plyboard from Bunnings, shout out to Bunnings, absolute on point, I happened to get a piece of wood that was exactly the perfect width across there as it is from where the cabin starts. Shut up, Rudy. He's doing wheel stands. Anyway, back to this. So it was a perfect width across there. So then what I did was I found the center of the board, and using a set square, I was able to create a straight line up the center. And then I made notches at each 10 centimeter intervals. Once I got into the boat, I put this down along the center line, and at each of those 10 intervals, using the tape measure, I measured the distance from where you can see the rub marks of the old wood up to where it is on the 400. In this case, it would be 52. Coming back to the board, after I had all the measurements written down on my phone for each 10 centimeter interval, I came to the center line and made a mark at each of the distances out. Again, using the 400, we can see that that's 52, and I made a mark at the end there. And then once I've made all the marks, I can join them all the way up to create the center. Okay, so now that I've got all of these points measured out and I've got the rough area ironed out, I'm going to get a reciprocating saw and cut it out. So it's important when doing these things to always wear sunnies, safety sunnies. They'll protect your eyes. So now that I'm ready to do this, I want to make sure that I don't cut through my workbench, and I just want to follow along the outside of the curve, slowly giving it a nice curve. Okay, so the reciprocating saw didn't have enough curve on it to follow the boat around. So I've changed over to this battery operated jigsaw, and we're going to keep going. And there you have one rough cut floorboard. As it sits, I reckon that looks pretty good. It's perhaps a bit short up the top, but you can see down there, it's nice and flush with the carpet. Really sturdy. And so now that we've got it roughly in shape, I'm going to take some sandpaper and just hit the burr up around the edges and just roll it a bit so it looks nice and presentable. So now guys, as you can see, after a bit of sanding, I've got it into the shape that I want. And then again, using that ruler under the center line, I've drawn lines across the board to represent those ribs that run underneath it. And I'm going to use those lines to put pilot holes so that I can screw the board down. So now that the holes have all been drilled for the screws, all that's left is to just screw it down. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the finished product. So that's part 2. The floor is finished now, but in the next part I'm going to be taking the floor back out and we're going to be applying an epoxy resin to it to prolong the life of the floor. And then I might even add a carpet to it, depending on how I feel. So maybe that's a good thing to throw in the comments if you reckon. Hold on. If you reckon I should carpet it or if I should leave it wooden with the epoxy resin. So drop that in the comments. As always, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, just absolutely smash it up. You know, blow these videos up because we don't post a lot of them.